So, in continuation of our class, we want to continue with we first come along with reading, because we need to understand how the flow of every time signature in which your music is written. When you understand the rhythm of your time signature, you'll be able to sing the note accordingly. So we look at reading. There are some things we need to understand, in the time signature, or what we call reading. So let's go back to the platform, side singing one platform, then look at those materials I sent. Yes, this first material is an app, an hymn book, and it's an hymn book. So you download it and you open. We will still talk about it because that's what we use for our practical application tomorrow. We start learn some of the hymns, how to cite some of the hymns. You start from the common ones to the uncommon ones. Then you come to this. Let's open this reading meter Britannica and see the definition and explanation of some things about reading. So I click on it, just open it just once. Now this is it. Now reading in music, the placement of sound in time. It is the placement of sound in time. So you need to understand placement of sound in time. That is reading. We are not dealing with all this theory. You can read up all these things later on and understand some time and some points or sometimes in reading, elements of reading. So you can read all those things. There are some things you need to understand when we talk about beat. The unit division of musical time is called beat. Bam, 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 bam. So that is beat. It's just like the regular pulse of your heart. If you place your hand on your chest towards your heart, you will see the thing pumping. Boom, 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 boom. Exactly. That's how you count your beats. Now the tempo, that talks about the pace of your music, the speed. That is it. So you still come to understand a lot of things about tempo. There are some terms we use to illustrate or describe tempo, rubato. Now time. We talk about time. That is the time signature. So just like you have some examples here about time signature, we will explain time signature during the rudiment of music we did last week. So here is it. Here you have a 2/2 time, 2/4 time. 2/4 means 2 crochet beats in a bar. That 4 underneath, the 4 underneath actually indicates a quarter, which is crochet. Crochet is the quarter note. So you have 1 2 1 2, just like the pulse of the heart. 1 2 1 2 1 2. That is it. So once you have 2 as the upper figure, that's how you count. Here 2/2, you have 2 meaning beats in every bar. You still count 1 2 1 2 1 2. So it's the time in 2 times. But as we will still explain later, that does not mean that if you have 2/4, that does not mean that all the notes will be in crochets. No. You can split your notes into simpler notes, but the count will still give you 2 crochets within that bar. So you have to understand all this logic. Then 3/4. So far you have 3/4 or 3/8. Once the upper figure is 3, you have 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. It may be 3/2, it may be whatever. Now 4/4 time is called a common time. So we will still talk about that. Here is 4/4. It's called common time. You have 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. So each crochet stands for a count, stands for a beat. So we will start from this simple time signature. Here you have this representing simple duple, simple triple, and your simple quadruple time. So here, that's where we'll start and move along. Here is compound time signature. Compound time signature will be treated later as we continue. So you have to read up all this so that you can understand the lesson. Forget about polyphonic meter, we'll still come to that. Then after this, come to this second material, understanding reading in music. Click on it and open the document. Yes, this is it. You need to understand reading. Reading combines so many things to form your melody and harmony. So what is rhythm in music? Rhythm is the pattern of sound, silence, and we are not concerned about the definition or theory now. We want to see how it is applied. Why is it important in music? 7 elements of rhythm in music that you need to understand very well if you actually want to know how to sing. Time signature. Thank God we talked about time signature last week during our free rudiments of music class. Time signature, you have different types of them. So now we come to meter. So what do you mean by meter? Meter is the pattern of your count. The duple meter, the triple meter, and the quadruple meter. Yes, we have the duple meter where you count 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. The triple meter where you count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You have that. So that's all about meter. Then you come to tempo. Okay, before I move away from meter, you should know that in your counting, just like I mentioned last week during the rudiment of music class, I said that every first beat, the first beat of every bar is always strong. So for your duple meter, 1, 2, 1, 2. The first count is a strong beat. For your triple meter, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The first count is a strong beat. Then the other two, so you have 1 very strong, 2, 3 are weak beats. So the same thing for your quadruple meter, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first beat is strong, the second one is weak, the third one is also strong but not as strong as the first one, while the fourth count is weak. You need to understand all this because by the time we are going into the practice proper, it will not be strange to us. Now tempo. What is tempo? Tempo is the speed at which a piece of music is played. That's we saw tempo in the first document we opened. Now strong beats and weak beats, that's what I just explained when I explained your meter. I've explained that already. Your first beat of the bar is always strong. Now syncopation. What do you mean by syncopation? Syncopation simply means shifting of your strong beat onto a weak beat. You know, we talked about accent when we started our rudiment of music during the characteristics of a tone. Accent is the strong emphasis on a note. Now syncopation, when you now move that strong emphasis, instead of it being on the first count of your bar, you now shift it to a weak beat, which may be perhaps the second note. That is what is meant by syncopation. We are not bothered about definition. When we start to sing those notes, I will tell you where you have syncopation and how it looks like. Now accent, we have explained accent during our rudiment of music class. So you need is the strong emphasis, the emphasis you place on a note. Now every first beat of your count is always accented, except if it is a syncopation where it is moved to another beat. And there are some music where the composer will give you a sign showing that you need to accent those notes. Now polyrhythm, you might not bother with that one for now. So you have a lot to study here in these materials. Go through it and you will understand better. Now I click on the third material. So it's loading. Good. What is rhythm? How time, beat, and meter work in music. You need to understand that very well. Rhythm is one of the fundamental aspects of music theory. So it's one of the fundamental. What is rhythm? So you can read up all this and not bother about theory because you are not writing exam or you are not in a whatever. So we need to understand this following concept. When we are talking about rhythm: beats and notes, measures and time signature, strong and weak beats that I've just explained now, double and triple meter. I think I've explained that too. Now, beats and notes. You need to understand that we treated musical notes and values the other time. So we saw all the notes. A musical note represents the duration of time that an instrument will be played, either instrument or voice. And here we can see this. You still remember this note? You know your semi-brief, which is the whole note, your minim, which is the half note, your crotchet, which is the quarter note, your quiver, which is the eighth note, semi-quiver, which is the 16th note, demi-semi-quiver, which is the 32nd note. So all these notes, you need to understand them and look at it. If you have beats here, for example, if your semi-brief is a 4-beat count, that means in that music, minim will be 2 beats, crotchet will be 1 beat, quiver will be half beat, semi-quiver will be a quarter beat, and so on, because they are reducing, the value is reducing by half. So that is it. You must understand this concept, because in your music you have combination of these different notes to give you your music. Now, time signatures and bars. We talked about time signature last week during our free rudiment of music class, and I have explained your time signature left. You have explained your bar, the bar line, and your bar. So all these ones have been treated last week. Now, here we come. What's the effect of your time signature? So look at it. 4 pulses to 1 bar. If it is 4/4, 4 pulses to 1 bar. So you have 4 crotchets. That is what it means. 4 crotchets to 1 bar. Now look at these 4 crotchets. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So 4 crotchets to 1 bar. That does not mean your music will be only crotchets. No, you have combination of notes, as we will see later on. But you need to know how to count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 crotchets can be combined to form a minim. Perhaps 2 crotchets can be combined to form a minim. And since if crotchet is 1 beat in this music, the minim will be 2 beats, because you have 2 crotchets in a minim. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. So it can be combination. So this is what we have. This is the explanation here. Strong and weak beats, I have said that already, so you should understand, you should know it. But now, so here is your 4/4. 1 strong beat, weak beat, strong beat, weak beat. So here is your triple count, triple meter. 1, 2, 3. Strong, weak, weak. Strong, weak, weak. That's how the counting goes. So all these things will help you when you are sight reading your piece of music, and we are going to learn more later. Now look at this. Just like I said, your 4/4, the notes can be broken into simpler notes. So 2 quavers make a crotchet. So here we have 1 crotchet, we have 1 crotchet, 1 crotchet, 1 crotchet, making our 4/4. So these 2 makes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how it is. So if this is 1, 2, 3, 4, how then do you see? Strong, weak, strong, weak. So, and these have been broken into quavers. So you have, instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, you break the count into half such that you are able to tap, and these two counts will be tapped under one count. These two notes will come into that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's it. So here is first count, second count, third count. So you have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's how you count those notes in quiver time, because you have two notes to one count. So you will see this where by the time you open those in books and we start practicing everything. So once you read through all these materials so that you can understand the counts and how all these things work. So you still see, we will still continue later and go into detailed practical. Thank you. Stay tuned.